Welcome back. Well, next up is the Singapore Pavilion Showcase, where gamescom Asia has partnered up with Singapore Games Association to set up a massive space for about 11 companies right here in Singapore for gamescom Asia. Now let's go check out some of those companies.
Hey everyone, I am Gwen. I'm the chairperson of Singapore Games Association. I hope that all of you have been well and staying safe despite the COVID restrictions. It's been going on for about a couple of years now, and we hope that Gamescom Asia, the hybrid version this year, has been really enjoyable for you. So a little bit about us is that we are SGJA, Singapore Games Association, the primary trade association for gaming and esports in Singapore. So what we do is we focus on supporting the ecosystem and strengthening the foundations of gaming, whether it's game development or esports in Singapore. We are supported by Enterprise Singapore, IMDA, as well as Singapore Tourism Board. So our team is made up of a diverse bunch of people from the games industry, whether it's myself from Imba Interactive, which is a game audio studio, Alicia Lee, who's a co-founder of Elephant. And as you may know, Alicia was also the person behind GameStart Asia. And then there's JF So, who is the founder of RSG, which is one of Singapore's top esports teams. There's Brian, who's our treasurer, who runs Esprit Games, which is a premium indie game publisher. We have Will from Ubisoft Singapore. We have Karen from Facebook. And then we also have Joyce, who was ex-Unity and now working at M1. And our two dear staff, Cheryl and Benjamin Chia, have also been working very hard. In fact, they've been working the hardest among us all to bring to you some of the initiatives that we work with Gamescom Asia. Our vision is to facilitate Singapore as a premium gaming industry, and our mission is to build and support a sustainable games ecosystem while promoting the Singapore industry, whether it's locally to the public, locally to the industry, or even internationally. Some of the things that we do is we help to build bridges, which means that we help people shake those hands through an email, because now it's COVID, we can't really literally shake hands. So whether it's linking up local businesses to local businesses or local and international, we help to bridge that gap. And then we also help to communicate, amplify. So for those of you who know of us, or now that you know of us, please head down to our Facebook page, Twitter, as well as Instagram for Singapore Esports to get a view of our latest news. So we help to amplify some of the made in Singapore games, our winning esports teams, or even if they're just taking part, or if they're looking for game testers, if they're looking for people to hire, we always push these news out on our social media channels. There's also networking opportunities. So pre-COVID, we had this monthly game dev drink up, which has all the game developers come down to mingle with each other. So hopefully COVID lifts so that we can bring this back again. And it's one of our most fun events actually every month, where people just come together and they talk about work or they talk about life. Very important for mental health and for business opportunities, both alike. And then we also have an industry database. This is something we've been working on since the beginning of our association last year in August, where we document and put all the made in Singapore games as well as the companies on a database, so that people, when they want to get to know more about industry at one glance, they can see who are the major players in Singapore. We also help out with capability development, accreditation, and training. So whether it's workshops and seminars to help uplift the expertise of gaming in Singapore, we help to facilitate that, if not organize it. Also, finally, we work with governments to discuss about the infrastructure and structure of our gaming ecosystem here. So whether it's about policy making or decisions that are done on the industry, we help to consult with them so that it benefits the industry well. So down to the meat of it. Now, Gamescom Asia is huge. So Ko and Amese, who are the main organizers of Gamescom Asia, have been working really hard to put this together despite all the COVID restrictions and the pandemic and all the safe entry protocols and stuff. So as an association, we tried our best to help them out, but we not only helped them out, we also did some of our initiatives that are surrounding Gamescom Asia. So things like curating speakers, consultation, we help out Gamescom Asia with that. And if you have attended the hybrid event, you would have noticed that we have the Singapore Pavilion. Our members, all Singaporean companies, are housed under this booth, and they get to showcase their games, their services, their products. And we also have Singapore Games Week, which it would have been the last couple of days. So I hope that you've been taking part. I will go through a bit with what we've done, as well as the Asia Games Award. Now onward to Singapore Games Week, which is held from 11th to the 17th. Singapore Games Week has a whole bunch of stuff. We have workshops, seminars, we have a treasure hunt, we even have a virtual village for those of you who didn't manage to meet anybody outside here, because of the pandemic, at least you get to meet and mingle with folks, whether from the public or from the industry in this virtual village. So part of the workshops is that we try to get the workshops to be accessible to the public, because gaming is not something that is so far away and inaccessible that you have to be a pro gamer or you have to be somebody who's really experienced in the industry to really be part of it. No, not at all. You can be from anywhere, you can be of any age, any level experience, that gaming can be part of your life. So some of the examples of the workshops is that we have Outer Culture Studios, which did a basic game design workshop. It was basic, but it's really, really fun. It's called the Paper Playground. It's one of the few workshops that has to be in person, because in order to make it accessible, we got to make sure that you don't need to have coding experience or programming experience to even start designing games. So that was something that the Paper Playground took pride in, to make it accessible for everyone. Now we also have Curious Chimeras, which are both very fun and funny folks who are well known for running tabletop RPGs. So again, if you are new to tabletop RPGs and you're intimidated by the immense lore and all that, just don't be, because Curious Chimeras make it very accessible for you. You can play it with your family even. So it's mostly about storytelling and how do you get immersed in that storytelling by role playing. And then we have our friends from the Neo Tokyo project. So the Neo Tokyo project has been around for super long. So we have Singapore's first and only Annie Awards nominated adventure author Jason Koh to bring to you a 4-hour-long adventure that is specially adapted for Singapore Games Week. So again, whether you're a beginner or whether you are a veteran in D&D, or like let's say you don't even know what D&D is, to you D&D just means, dinner and dance, dinner and drinks. But no, this time around is Dungeons and Dragons. And it's really a great experience to get you into it. From the Neo Tokyo project, this is something that has been occurring in GameStart in the past couple of years as well, which is an extremely therapeutic experience. Previously in GameStart, it was a lot of people, the crowd was massive, it could get quite intense for some people that are not very, not themselves in crowds, or they feel uncomfortable. So there was always a little corner where people could sit down and paint figurines. And even if you're not somebody who is into tabletop RPGs, just the act of taking that 3D model and painting it with your own colors and expressing yourself is just something that's very relaxing among all the chaos that's happening. Even for beginners, this 3-hour miniature painting workshop walked you through on techniques and how to bring the best colors in, what brushes to use. And you may even take home these figurines to use for your own little D&D campaigns or tabletop RPGs as well. And also our dear volunteers, and one of them being Jared Chia, who runs BIMG Streams, which is a gaming stream. He had this brilliant idea of having a gaming trivia. So participants would pre-throw what theme of games you want. They can be any kind of games, indie games, AAA titles, hardcore, casual games, they can all be part of this trivia. So he held this trivia alongside a lot of other really friendly volunteers that work really, really hard for this. And it's the best way to test your knowledge of games in general. So whether you're with your friends or, they do not need to be from the gaming industry. They can just be huge gamers. This is a time where you compete with your friends and you see how your scores measure up against each other. It was a great experience. I personally played a round myself and it was super fun, and I realized that there's so much that I didn't know as well, even though I've been a gamer since I was like 6. And also there's the treasure hunt. So COVID was challenging. We initially wanted the treasure hunt to be mostly physical, because we wanted to support our local businesses, get people to run around island from the east to the west, now north to the south, to get to know Singapore better as well. And we kept this in mind, knowing that there could be people from overseas that were taking part as well. So they could be tourists, that wanted to know more about Singapore. But alas, COVID. So we made it partially online, partially offline, within COVID restrictions, of course. So this treasure hunt has a lot of hints about gaming in general, and we had prizes also that were sponsored by some of our local companies. So some of them are Art Science Museum, Gang, Origami, as well as Scapes. A lot of them are familiar names. Art Science Museum, everybody knows, it's at MBS. If you haven't gone there to visit their Virtual Worlds exhibition, please do so. We also have Gang, which is a platform to matchmake players like yourself to coaches or other player companions. Origami, you may not know them, but if you visit NTUC or Popular Bookstore, you may have seen some of their really famous board games, and such as Chope, Kopi King. Most of us know who Scape is, but Scape has been very, very supportive of youth in general, and they've also supported us for this treasure hunt event. And so some of our partners that we've decided to support is Orcal Tap Room in Bad Company and Eastside. And a lot of these are friends that are, they stock our local craft beer, and this time COVID, we really want to support our local businesses, and we know how hard it is for F&B here in Singapore. So we've held our Game Dev Drink Up at some of these areas, and we are happy to say that they are really, really nice people, and they could appreciate some support from the gaming community as well. But the best of all is that they're huge gamers themselves. So when we had them on board, it was we were really quite grateful to them. So please support. Get to know some of our local pubs and restaurants as well. Get to know our local craft beers, food and beverages, and maybe even talk to them about games. And as I explained for Gang just now, and if you know some of these people, even if you don't know them, come and play with some of their game pals. If you find that you're playing games and you realize, I need a change in friends. My friends are too toxic and salty. I need to play some games with better people. Yeah, you can check these people out. Or if you are a solo gamer and you feel like you want to have some new friends to play with, just check them out. And of course, we have our Singapore Games Week Virtual Village. So because a lot of people maybe didn't get to go into the hybrid event for Gamescom Asia, which is mostly B2B anyway, we wanted to reenact the feeling of being in an exhibition, a games exhibition where people can meet, they can mingle, they can talk, they can hang out. The Virtual Village is a place where we celebrate some of Singapore's companies and Singapore studios, Singapore games, services, and some of them were found in the Gamescom Asia B2B, but others were not, and others are exclusive to Virtual Village. So do take a look and go and walk around, enjoy the music, enjoy the pretty art, and enjoy the smoothness of the experience. Is much thanks to Lionfish Studios that worked on this, as well as Inbar Interactive, which worked on the music and sounds. Here's a little demo of the Virtual Village, and I'm going to walk you through it. Okay, so after I've typed my name, I managed to get into the character creation screen where you can customize your avatar to a certain extent. In this case, I'm a fish in a bathtub. Let's go! Yeah, so in this space, you can just walk around and interact with some of the random stuff. WASD to walk around, by the way. I'm interacting with the snake here. If you want to read more information, feel free to check out the notice boards. And that's supposed to be a personification of us. It's great. And then we'll bring you to our sponsors hall. So thanks to our sponsors here, we're able to have these booths in the Virtual Village. Yeah, so feel free to click on the website. It will open up a new tab if you want to find out more about our sponsors and partners. Like I said, feel free to interact with some of the random stuff. that you encounter. So this is the exhibition floor where all our local games and game companies are exhibited here. Each time you check out any of the booths, the NPCs will give you a random quote. It's generated from the companies themselves, so it's like maybe each time it's like different. And this is the gamescom level. Some stuff to interact with, and of course you can watch the stream of gamescom happening here. Virtual Village is going to be up until the end of this month, by the way, so even if Singapore Games Week is over, just feel free to hang out in the Virtual Village until the end of the month. And now we also bring you Asia Games Awards, which is at this time, at this date. Please be there if you're interested to see some of the very best games and esports folks from the Asian gaming industry. So as long as your game or you are from Asia or the game is made in Asia, it qualifies for this. Now our sponsors are Sensor Tower and G-Round. So very, very grateful to them for supporting this Asia Games Awards. This is our first time and we hope that the Asia Game Awards persists throughout the next few years as well too, because Asia Games really need a lot more recognition. A lot of the games that we play are often made from elsewhere internationally, and even if they are made in Asia, they are such huge games that have a lot of commercial backing and stuff. So the Asia Games Awards hopefully will bring light to some of the indie titles as well as some of the lesser known AAA titles. Some of these categories include the best overall game, excellence in narrative, whether it's storytelling or how well your storytelling gels with the rest of the game, excellence in audio, whether it's the music that's wonderful or the sound design or the whole mix, just a very pleasant oral experience, excellence in visual art, whether the game has these visuals and graphics and models that blow you away or are very, very charming, and excellence in design, whether the game mechanics or the design of the whole game is intuitive, easy to pick up, or very refreshing. And then, of course, we have best esports athlete, which is very self-explanatory, you know, for those of you who watch esports a lot, who's your favorite esports athlete out there. And then we have gaming content creator, whether it's streamers or influencers, who's the one that's like really putting themselves out there to promote the games that they play. And then we also have the best gaming event, whether it's gaming or esports, how many people attended this gaming event, how smooth was the gaming event, you know, were there a lot of great reviews from it. So that's for the Asia Game Awards, don't miss it. And last but not least, we have the folks under the Singapore Pavilion as described earlier. So the Singapore Pavilion was part of our Gamescom Asia B2B section, and it aims to promote business between these companies, those that are visiting from overseas. It's everything got to do with how do we promote trade between these companies. And I'll introduce them one by one. So VECTORGEMS Tech is that when we think about games, you just think about the game itself. We don't really think about the merchandise. VECTORGEMS, they do amazing jewelry. They've done jewelry for MiHoYo. They've done jewelry for even our indie studios such as Landshark Games. So check them out. We have Junkfish Studios, which worked on Monstrum, right? And they are half Scottish, half Singaporean, which is great. You know, we love to see international collaboration when it comes to gaming. And then we also have Iterative Collective, which is an indie game incubator based in Singapore. So if you want to make a game and you are unsure of whether, is it very risky? Do I lack mentors? You know, incubators such as Iterative Collective would be great to go to. Leoful is a games publisher. They especially publish on Switch as well. So if you have a wonderful game that's about to be published on Switch, please do check them out. And then we have Yearsprit Games, which does indie games publishing, mostly premium. Some of the titles, perhaps Valhalla, She Remembers Caterpillars. If you've heard of these games, great for you. If you haven't, do check out the Esprit Games booth. And then we also have REC, which does really, really cool gaming peripherals and hardware. We have Singapore Polytechnic, which is a school. Some of their students have made awesome student games, and do not underestimate student games because some of them have huge potential to become something even bigger in the future. So we have SP down there with some of their student games. And then we have Elephant, who's done a huge bulk of the work for Gamescom Asia, and as well as GameStart in the past. So they do gaming events, games marketing. We also have Lionfish, as previously stated, they did the Virtual Village. So they do indie games as well as gamification / games as a service. No Average Joe, they are both indie games developer as well as games marketing and branding. Really cool guy, check him out. And then finally, we have Imba Interactive, which is a game audio studio doing music composition, sound design, voiceover, and audio implementation for games. So that being said, please sit back and watch some of the gaming trailers from our exhibitors under the Singapore Pavilion.
Sound is our forte. It's what we devote ourselves to. We'd go to any length to forge a single sonically vivid memory. Because at Imba, we know how much love and care it takes to build an interactive experience. And as developers ourselves, we can give nothing less. Imba Interactive. Crank up your game.
跟妈妈一样变成大明星。
Hello? Hello?
Is to find a job. You can always lie about it. Doesn't sound so bad. It sounds awful. I was legit about to answer my door. I thought someone was there.
An exposure in public, sexual indecent. I'd rather not.
おしゃれしたのか。いつもとなんだか違うな。
We bleed this backwater planet dry, the faster we can get the hell out of here. I hate all of you.
report to designated stations.
Hi, I'm Nitro from indie publisher Leofu. Today we have a couple of announcements to share with you in Gamescom Asia. But before that, take a look at this.
Vamos a tocar soneros, toquemos de corazón, y en este bonito día vamos a hacer un rumbo. Y si del alma brota letra, armonía y sazón, son estos los ingredientes para componer un son. Oye, toca la clave, suena el bombón, hazme tu bajo, que lo demás lo pongo.
Alpaca Ball All-Stars arrives on more home consoles in 2022. The game is also out now on the Nintendo Switch and Steam. The Colonists will launch for the Nintendo Switch in Asia in late 2021. Stay tuned for more details. We have released a couple of games across different genres in the past 2 years. Take a look at some of the games from us that you can play right now. What do you think? We have a couple more announcements coming up later this year and we want you to hear all about it. The best way to do so is to follow us on our Facebook or Twitter. Until then, have fun gaming and thank you for watching.
Hi, we are VECTORGEMS, a jewelry design and prototype studio based in Singapore and China. We're a group of video game fans who are also gemologists, 3D modelers, jewelry designers, and game concept artists. Inspired by the many games we play, we're determined to design and make jewelry that gamers will like to wear in the real world. In the past 3 years, we won a lot of international design awards with the game jewelry we made. We co-work with game developers and publishers like Landshark Games, developer of casual mobile game Zenkoi 2. We redesign and craft the licensed game character, Akon McCoy, into Zenkoi Jewelry Collection. Zenkoi Jewelry won the Platinum Awards in the Muse Creative Awards 2019. Right now, we're working with MiHoYo, the developer and publisher of Genshin Impact, to produce jewelry merchandise for Genshin Impact gamers all over the world. We're also working with Chinese game developer So Funny to produce jewelry merchandise for their game, Ulala Idol Adventure. The jewelry we produced for the 2 games will be released soon. Please stay tuned. We're prototyping jewelry merchandise for other games like Minecraft and Farm Story. We hope one day these beautiful game jewelry will have the opportunity to be released to gamers. VECTORGEMS team is working hard to be recognized by the game's IP owners. Besides co-working with game publishers and developers on jewelry merchandising, VECTORGEMS also creates in-house jewelry pieces by taking reference from common weapons, badges, props that are used in many games. VECTORGEMS project director Andrew Lamb specialized in designing dark themes revolving around myths and tragic loves. His inspirations came from Western Cthulhu mythos and ancient Chinese mythology, which many games took reference from. Game developers and publishers are welcome to contact us for jewelry customization services. It will be our honor to design and craft fine jewelry according to the art style of your games.
Once I was 20 years old, I wanted to be a difference or a change in our society. Once I was 20 years old. How do I change the world when I have naught to offer? When all I know is how to play, cause I'm a video gamer. I went to school and shared my sorrows with a caring teacher. He said, believe yourself and with your passion make a difference. One size never fits all. My parents told me to reconsider leaving university, but one size never fits all. I had my friends with me and we were starting slowly. Rent a garage, sleep on the couch, not earning any money. Some days it's hard to be thinking positively. You make a call and you're not interested, and I'm sorry. Then things started to roll. We got our first sale. They told us they believe in our story. Then things started to roll. We raised a pre-seed fund, applied for Singapore grants. We talked to people wearing suits who said they want our name cards. We're calling New Delhi, we're calling California. We even got an exhibition during Gamescom Asia. What does the future for us hold? Will we take the world by storm? Will we change the way that games will now be played from? What does the future for us hold? Whatever the future for us holds, we remember where we've come. We remember all the lessons that we learned from. See what the future for us holds. Once I was 20 years old, I wanted to be a difference or a change in our society. Once I was 20 years old.
And so I hope you all enjoyed that wonderful jingle by our singing CTO. And by now I'm sure you're all very curious on what exactly is our revolutionary gaming device. And so without further ado, I am proud to present to you the REC Motion Pad.
This is the world's first palm-controlled gaming device that lets players game to their greatest potential. And do not mistake it for a touchpad. It's mechanically controlled with ultra-sensitive pressure sensors with a beautifully polished mirror surface. Now, to give you an idea of how games can be played with the motion pad, for MMORPG or FPS games like Valorant, you can either map your directional controls to the motion pad instead of WSD, or you could map your abilities as well if you are a WSD loyalist. For mobile games like League of Legends or Dota, you can use it for item abilities or for panning your camera around to ensure that your mouse stays reactive and efficient during critical moments. Finally, this is a non-invasive device that you don't have to set up every time you want to game, so you can even use it when you work, whether it's scrolling up and down or switching between tabs, or even simply using it as an ergonomic wrist rest. The REC Motion Pad will be a game changer.
But enough about that. Let me introduce you to the REC showroom. We have had countless influencers and VIPs down which have left their signatures on our wall of fame.
and they've all come down to try our Rec Motion Pad early prototype, of which they've left amazing reviews.
And now I'm gonna fly around. This is really intuitive. I really like how fast this is. Look at that. I'm able to jump quite fast and move backwards and forward.
I think it's really cool because I can move around quite interestingly, like without moving my hands too much. And I can press any of the buttons without moving my hands.
I got more keys to push things while playing games, and it's a lot more comfortable than reaching over. That reaction time, alright, that's a very big thing for me. Especially, we all know that gaming moment when you look away from the screen to push a button, to reload or whatever it is, and suddenly the enemy is there. And I think this really cuts that out. It gives me another quote-unquote set of hands to really do more.
Yeah, so those are some pretty amazing reviews. And you can rest assured that Rec spares no expense in hearing out what our customers want and implementing them in our innovations. So if you are interested in trying out our Rec Motion Pad prototype too, do come down to our user testing program to try it out.
That's it. We are working tirelessly day and night to turn this idea into a reality.
And we are sparing no expense in making this product amazing.
So our Kickstarter will be going live in January 2022, and we hope to get your support. So unleash your gamer within.
Thanks so much for bearing with me, and I hope that you have had a wonderful day and a wonderful week, in fact, with the Singapore Games Week and all the gaming festivities. And I really, really hope to see you back here next year. Thank you. See you.
Now, we hope you enjoyed the Singapore Pavilion Showcase, and if you are in Singapore and vaccinated, be sure to check it out. Now, from all of us here in gamescom, we would like to take the time to thank our partner, Singapore Games Association, for putting all of this together. But for now, we're going to take a short break and come back with a special chat with EA.